Yo, what's up everyone, it's me BaRKy and I'm here with another mod showcase from Rimworld 1.2, the first one in the new series, and this is the Ultratech Carbon mod. Now, I've built this little base here. It's kind of advanced, I would say, but the point is not to focus on the base, it's to focus on this prison. No, I'm kidding. The point of the base is this thing over here called the Sleeve Incubator. Now, I don't know if you've seen Ultratech Carbon, the series on Netflix. I've seen a couple episodes, so I have a rough idea of what it is, but I really just didn't focus on it overly so. But what happens in the series is they have these things called sleeves, and how a sleeve works is it's the receptacle for a cortical stack, which allows them to transmit their consciousness into these bodies using that stack. So I've got a whole lot of prisoners here, and then a whole lot of quantum coolers hooked up to the back of their prison cells. So you can probably guess what's going to happen to them very shortly. With these prisoners, we get this thing called the Sleeve Incubator, empty cortical stacks, and then normal cortical stacks. Now, for prisoners, it's important because the Sleeve Incubator, where you build bodies that your people can inhabit, needs to be fueled by human meat, and it makes this little fetus thing over here. So I've gone ahead and made one, and it's at about 50%. This is just one in progress, but if you go to the menu, you can see exactly how it works. So you can, if you take a look, you have this person over here. You can change their body type, their head type, their hair type to whatever you want, and then you can change the level of beauty and the level of quality. Now you can see that that changes the time to grow and the biomass requirements. So we go ahead and set it to 3, and I turn this off to allow people to come and fuel it. It'll consume this biomass like it is over here, set at 234, basically to build this new body, which is quite a cool idea. If you've ever wanted to, say for example, save a pawn, so I've got my own over here, and I've implanted one of these cortical stacks into them. Now with this cortical stack, I can harvest it out of them. I'm not going to do it to this one because I want to show you someone who's a bit more specific. So we've got Trigger Happy Psychopath Sanguine over here, and this person called BaRKy. And BaRKy has a cortical stack put into them. So we're going to harvest this, remove cortical stack. Send him to wherever he's going. He wants to have his last meal. Very nice, because they do unfortunately die after this. So let's bring him in. That was really quick. Really quick. So now that person is dead. This is a corpse. He's going to process that. While he does that, we can take a look at the cortical stack. So you can see it dropped the cortical stack, and it's no longer an empty one, which is one of the ones I put into him, but instead it has all his details in it. So you can see BaRKy, Doki, Faction Ultratech Carbon. I just named it after the mod because I'm lazy. Rich Kid, Military Cook. And now I can go ahead and build one of these sleeves. I've gone ahead and made one already, but just for show's sake, let's just do this. Create sleeve. Make it a dude. It's fine. Bowl cut fine. And we'll do level quality that. So we'll start building him. And then because we're cheating, we have the dev mode just to help us out. So then it becomes pretty much a grave. Open up the grave, and it gives us one of these things called an empty sleeve. So bring the sleeve over here. I've got a few others that I've made. Now we can install the cortical stack. I want to make sure it's the right one. Go ahead and ban these two from being used. I wish there was an easier way to do this. I will speak on some of my pet peeves with the mod in a little bit, but just take a look at one of the coolest things I have ever seen. And we have BaRKy back. So welcome back. And you can see they have the traits here, staggeringly ugly now though. So the big thing is, because I set the actual sleeve down to level of beauty 1, he gets a staggeringly ugly trait, unfortunately. This is what the empty sleeve looks like without an actual cortical stack in them. So you can see it has childhood, empty sleeve, and it literally can't do anything. The only trait it has is beautiful, because this is a level 3. And you have sleeve quality high over here, which tells you what it is. And then in the old diffs, which is the one you can't see, it says empty sleeve, which just sets their consciousness to 0%. There is no way around this. I have tried. I spent a bad amount of time trying. But yeah, there we go. So the cortical stack's put back inside him. And he can walk around. It is exactly the same colonist in almost every single way, same background. I think that's one of the coolest things I have ever seen in this game. It's actually hard to appreciate how cool that is. So if you love a colonist, you can pretty much save them. There are some caveats. So of course, if you're in a fight and they get destroyed, say the neck gets destroyed, then there's nothing you can do about that, because if the cortical stack gets destroyed, well, your colonist is dead and you're not going to be able to save them, which sucks. And another thing is that you cannot just build these cortical stacks, so you need to actually find them from raiders, which makes it pretty difficult to do. Now I've got one over here, the Loma one here, which I can put into you, who was an enemy. So I'll show you what it looks like when you put an enemy's one in. We had them as a prisoner, and you can see they go ahead straight to being hostile. Now these sleeve incubators, they take research to make, so you gotta get your research done, which is over here. So it's human sleeves, which requires fabrication, and it's 8,000, which is massive, which allows you to make the sleeve incubator for 250 steel, 200 plasteel, 8 advanced components, and 1 persona core. Now we can get to fueling them. So this is a bit inhumane. I am really sorry, but progress isn't cheap. There we go. Give it a bit. Bit horrible to watch this stuff. So that just means that they died with the cortical stack inside them. Don't let that happen. Always check to see if they have a cortical stack inside them and remove it first. But there we go. So now we go ahead and butcher them. And then I clear up their clothes. And we take their meat and power our systems. And build more sleeves. And that's basically it. You can allow them back in. As I said, you can only get the cortical stacks as raid loot, basically, so you can only find them. But most raiders do seem to come with one. I mean, not all of them, but it does seem to be pretty damn high. But what it does include on the colonists or on the pawn, whatever one you're using, it's name and backstories, chronological age, all their traits, unless the trait is body related, so beauty, creepy breathing, stuff like that. Relationships, skills, assignments and schedules, designations, faction rank, position for NPCs, royalty stuff, so your title, and other small things. I just read that straight off the page. So it basically is a copy of them, just in a different body. So there are 3 traits that you can get that come with the mod. So I've got all of them over here. Let me just find you. There we go. So it's these 3 here. Come here. So 3 traits that come with the mod. Alright, whoops, sorry, I grabbed the wrong one. Not you, not you. So these are the 3 traits that come with the mod. So it's free mind, Minia, which is the name of the pawn, always saw their body as nothing more than a vessel for the mind. She doesn't care about gender, age, or looks of a body. So you can do whatever you wish and they won't complain. 1 soul. So Amy considers the use of stacks and sleeves as amoral. She believes that humans only get 1 life and that the extension of their lives via technology is a sin. So they won't be too happy. Go ahead and do it anyways. And then finally we have Sleever. So canon and use of switching sleeves are like their clothes. He doesn't care about how often he switches sleeves or what sleeves is currently being used, which is quite cool. So it just makes the game a little bit better in terms of allowing the world to feel a bit more natural when it comes to if you're going to be switching people's bodies in and out. I don't know, I feel like it does press a bit on the moral side of things. This is a good time to show off the weapons. So the mod comes with several weapons. You get the quickfire pistol, the bullpup pistol, the shark PDW, the Mac revolver, the Mac rifle, and then finally some armor, which is the Protectorate Armour, which I'm sure you've seen. I don't particularly like any of the guns. I think the armor is pretty cool though, to be fair. You can make it at the fabrication bench. And it is very good armor, admittedly. And I think it looks awesome. I mean, look at the detail on the armor. It just looks incredibly cool, especially the helmet. Very smooth. Very, very smooth. There are a few things that I'd probably want to speak on a bit. Just the stack system. Having the stacks just seems a bit off, especially if you're using an actual stack mod. so the ones that allows you to increase your stack size, like I've got over here. So I've got 23,000 plasteel. If you're using a stack mod and you stack these together, they will copy these traits over, which I think is a little bit silly. I wish there was a way around it. Maybe having a list of stacks, some way to put them in, like almost like a dresser, where you can put them into the dresser and then select which one you want. Also, if you're installing them in sleeves, there's no way to distinguish which one you want. So it'll just take whatever one it can, which is a little bit irritating, to be fair, because it means you have to disallow most of them. But besides that, it's a pretty amazing mod. I mean, dude, that's like such a tiny complaint on such an awesome mod. This is genuinely one of the coolest mods I've seen in ages. I think it's awesome. Also, it's for 1.2, so you don't need to worry about waiting for it to update or anything like that. Yeah, super cool. Super cool. Most of the mod won't be accessible in the beginning, which is probably for the best. It's a bit of a late game thing, and I'm sure everyone does get attached to colonists sometimes, I'd say, to the point where you want to keep them. And yeah, and also now you have a use for human meat besides eating it. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. I will see you all tomorrow. See ya. Hey, thank you very much for making it to the end of the video. It's really, really awesome of you. I've got a Discord server that's free for all to join if you'd like to come and have a chat with me or anyone else. And I've also opened up a Patreon page to help fund my videos. So if any of those interest you, please go ahead and take a look at the description. Have a great day, and thank you very much for watching.